Based on the 1992 novel by P.D. James, in 2006, Universal Studios released the film Children of Men, with it being directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Children of Men is a science fiction, thriller, and horror film, where in the future, a horrific thing has happened, where no woman can there is hope once more, as our main protagonist, Theo, brings a girl named Key and her newly born baby to safety, so that humanity. When the film was first released in 2006, it had mixed reactions. There were people, for example, like Roger Ebert, who praised its gritty and unique depiction of the future that was different from other sci-fi films. However, judging by its box office earnings, it failed to gain the interest of the general public. Which is probably due to the fact that the film was first marketed as a romance and love story between Julian and Theo. But the film is much more than that. Children of Men is about the redemption of Theo Varen, how he goes from a guy who's a nihilist, who lives in sorrow, to a guy who dies for humanity, and dies happily, and is an optimist, who has hope for humanity once more. So how does the film explore this? Well, first, we must discuss the context of the world that Theo is in. In Children of Men, it uses several different narratives and conventions of different genres within its film. This includes violence and death, which is common in the horror genre, the protagonist being in danger and being the underdog, which is common in the thriller genre, and fictional technology and fictional events and medical diseases that is common in the science fiction genre, which it is common in. Why did Alfonso Cuarón take the science fiction concept of new technology and the horror concept of death and violence and the concept of infertility forever and add them all together in one film? Well, the shooting of Children of Men began in 2005 in London. You know what else happened in 2005 in London? On the 7th of July, a terrorist attack named the London Bombings killed 52 people and injured 700 others in London, which evidently did make the citizens of England very scared of terrorism, as it was shown later in 2006 when in 2006, the UK government enabled a stronger immigration plan called the 5-year plan controlling our borders, where they vowed to take stronger control of UK's borders and have a stricter process of allowing immigrants to come into the country of the that 9/11 had happened many years ago in 2001 in America. Obviously, many people in England and America included were more scared of terrorism. So, Alfonso Cuarón, being inspired by this fear-mongering that the people had, decided to reflect this in his film. In the film, Children of Men, we see how illegal immigrants are treated quite harshly by the UK's public and the UK government and police enforcement. We see illegal immigrants being enclosed in small spaces, being physically abused and tormented by the UK and its public enforcers, such as the police. And we see the UK public, such as Theo, ignore how hurt they're feeling, and ignore the pain they're in, and ignore how ill-treated they're being. From the beginning of the film, Theo is shown as uncaring and doesn't care about the people, just like how he doesn't care about how illegal immigrants doesn't care if they're being abused. Just like how in the opening scene of the film, we see Theo walk into a coffee shop, where on the TV it announces the death of the world's youngest man at the time, Baby D. Everyone else in the scene betrays their characters to be seen as sad through their facial expressions of the death of Baby Diego. But Clive Owen, the actor who portrays Theo, uses his bland and not caring facial expressions to show how Theo does not care about Baby Diego. And he even tells his friend Jasper later in the film that Baby Diego was a wanker. Most media narratives will usually show their protagonists to be likable from the start. Even if they are flaws, they'll still express likable qualities to the audience, so that the audience will want them to achieve their goals later in the film. However, Theo is different. Theo shows nothing but unlikable qualities from the start of the film, such as how he is rude and uncaring to other people, showing a lack of sympathy and being nihilistic. nihilism and being unemotional are interrupted once he is kidnapped by some Fugees and meets Julian, who we later learn was his ex-wife and the mother of his child. Julian kidnaps Theo because she needs to ask Theo for help. She wants Theo to help her get transportation papers for a girl named Key so that she can go safely to this unnamed place in England. Now, at first, Theo shows the general uncaring and nihilistic attitude that he had always had. He shows that he doesn't really care about this mission, and even tries to get more. However, as the film goes on, we see Theo act more and more emotional with Julian. He shows genuine romantic interest in her and also angerness at her, which is portrayed well by. He even rejects the statement when Julian states that he's only doing this job for her money. He responds with, "Did I?" And in that same scene, we see a baby stroller next to Theo as he walks, which is the director, Alfonso Cuarón, suggesting that Theo is doing this job, but not for money, but because he wants the family he once had with Julian again. It becomes even more emotional when Julian is killed. After she is killed, we see Theo be on the floor, sad and depressed, from a high-angle viewpoint, which is the camera suggesting to us, the audience, that Theo is down but has hit bottom low, and he's down emotionally, and is very sad. The moment that changes Theo's character forever is when he is at the barn of the Fugees' hideout with Key. When he sees Key, she tells him that she is pregnant, which he reacts with shock, which is displayed well by the use of facial expressions by the actor Clive Owen. Once he finds out, he finally begins to show genuine interest and care for how Key is treated, telling her that he thinks that she should get proper medical care. Once he finds out that the Fugees actually killed Julian and want to use Key's baby for the sake of political reasons, he goes to Key and Miriam, wakes them up and says, he then goes with Key and Miriam and takes them to the safe prosperity of Jasper, his friend. After Theo then witnesses Jasper being killed by the Fugees, he then takes Key and Miriam to the detention center for illegal immigrants. After Miriam is taken away by soldiers, Theo realizes that he alone must help Key. So, he takes her to this house where she can give birth to her baby in safety. In which Clive Owen betrays Theo to be genuinely happy that Key has given birth to a baby. However, the good luck runs out the next day, as by the next day, after escaping Sid, they run across the Fugees, and the Fugees then steal Key and her baby from Theo, and it is up to Theo to take Key and her baby back so that she can get to safety and go to the projects on the boat. Here we see another way in which Theo is different from other usual media. In the US media, they usually portray their protagonist to fight the antagonist to get their goal, such as rescuing someone. However, Theo does not literally fight the Fugees. Instead, he just takes a more pacifist way and just takes Key back to the boat. So that Theo then rescues Key and takes her to the projects, in which he dies after protecting her and serving his purpose. He lived as a nihilist. For in almost every other scene, the camera looks down at Theo as if it's judging Theo for the actions he has done. However, in this scene, the camera meets Theo's eye level, as if we have reached a mutual respect with Theo. After he demonizes illegal immigrants at the time, it's probably why it didn't garner the interest of the general public that were very much against illegal immigration at the time. However, it's been far better received by modern audiences of today, as they understand that the film is about Theo Varen's redemption from a selfish nihilist to a selfless optimist.